Just to the small project is
Oh, wonderful.
Oh,
Celebrate.
just to make you happy.
Celebrate. Okay, guys, our topic was project management, and this is more like outline of how it can be done for all 5 days according to the outline that we stated the first day, you know, these 5 questions. So if you can make it a bit bigger, please. Yeah. So first day, as you can see, we have a topic where to apply, where to find the funding. And the content is information on EU programs and EU funds. And this is the methodology. First, we have individual work, then trainers can do a video presenting a specific fund or program that they were reading about. And then they can prepare a short quiz that later they can use in the final beneficiaries. So what are the online tools and resources that we use? We just provide them links because this is self-study research. And then they can do their own video using camera, mobile phone, and some editing software. And we use the Moodle questionnaire activity. So please watch the tutorial.
We put Google, it means Moodle.
Yeah, since we actually have this in our project, I would really encourage you to use it because otherwise we might lose funds and we don't want to give money back, right? I said Moodle.
Okay.
Just to go quickly through our days, the 7 days, why do our projects need to be funded? Why would anybody give us money? Here we can give them text describing situations, and then they have to analyze that and do presentation tree, a solution tree. And we use Muriel as what Maria used the other day, so we think that this might be a nice is it app to use it. You know, the Muriel with the like post-its that we use.
You just sign in, it's an application to sign in.
It's good that it's free, right? In the real life situation in person, we would just use flip charts and post-its, and that's how we would produce problem tree and solution tree. Third day is who is participating in who can influence our project. Again, we have.
Wait, why is this not filled? The who?
We will fill it later. Okay. Thank you for pointing it out. So it should be here who interests and who has interest and who has influence on our project. So we use the documentation from the first day, or we can provide them with the new input, like giving them short project ideas to work on. And then they do brainstorming and come up with all the stakeholders that can influence the project and fill out the metrics for the stakeholder analysis. The same is for the risks analysis. We use Zoom, Adobe Connect, or MS Teams to do collaboration work. They can have brainstorming, just writing on the whiteboard their ideas, and then they actually fill out the metrics. 4 days, what about activities? As you can see, similar with Zoom, they can use then, it should be chat, not chart. This here should be chat as a Moodle resource, and then they work on a Excel document for Gantt charts. So this is shared on Google Drive, for example. And the 5th day is how. We again provide them with situations. It could be stories or videos where people describe what kind of problems they had in implementation, because last day we talked about challenges in the implementation. And this is in 3 steps. First, they work as a group finding a solution, again, as a Zoom meeting. they need to put, could you slow down? Yeah. They need to post their solution in a discussion. So we have 4 threads of discussion if we have 4 problems or 4 situations. Then the second task is that individually they need to go to other 3 discussions, read what is the problem, what this is the solution that the original team gave, and write down their own opinions on that, what the situation, what the solution should be, and also to comment on others. So we try to use online tools as much as possible.
Yes.
Do you send it or we have it so we can put it on?
Hussein,
Okay, if he has it, everybody has it.
so obviously this can be flexible in terms of duration. You can use it 1 day or 2 days or.
So you suggest 5 days, but we can.
Yeah, you can only use what you find most important. Yeah.
Yes, is entrepreneurship next?
Okay. I already said it. Hola, hola. Ella. So we wanted to find a compromise, so we use the agenda of today's meeting. We converted it into board development. So as agreed among the groups, we just thought of having 2 days, 2 full days of entrepreneurship, and to have all subjects this divided, so you can choose how much of the materials you want or your target group needs when you outline the agenda for the ToT. So in my opinion, we already worked on this for Bosnia and Herzegovina workshop. We will have 1 day of entrepreneurship at the start, 2 days of PCM, and then 2 days entrepreneurship, 2 PCM, and in 1 day we will do the communication and the team building, teamwork, because those 2 subjects are very important in terms of the target groups and the people generally, and the process of the country in all this situation. So as for the entrepreneurship, the subject that we talked about, we agreed on some outlines, as Goga already mentioned, and as discussed, we should have a pre-training for the trainers. Maria and I also looked at some of the materials. We should talk to them first to present them, to get to know each other, to see who are the 15 trainers that we will have, and then to speak about the methodologies of self-education and online teaching environment. So we think that many of them are the experts in PCL, in business. They are very good at what they do, but maybe they never did an online meeting at all, or never prepared an online session, because it's not the same when you come and the topics come out themselves. You have to have an environment online, or whether you use Zoom or you use Skype, Teams, whatever you use, you just have to be confident to hold a lesson or hold a training. So this would be like a pre-training some days before the actual training, or some weeks even, for them, in order to get them to know the tools, the tutorials, and so on. Because here most of us did the training, and I have never heard of the stuff that Florencia and the others said yesterday. I usually use Menti, Slido, and Mural, but I'm not into the others. So I will explore them to see what I can use, where I feel comfortable, where I think that the subject will fit. So we will give them some time to explore, to see what is Mentimeter, what is Slido, Kahoot, and to try to try them with their environment, and then to use it. And then we would start. Yes, this self-assessment, it does not have to be in a pre-training. We thought that we can do the questionnaire for the participants in order to know what they expect of the training. So we will have enough time to rearrange the training to be as close as for their needs as possible. Not that we will just do what they want to, but we have to stick to the topics, but to see what they need, what they want, and then we will try to rearrange the situation. This can be even 7 days before the training, or even 2 weeks when we know who the people are. And then we will try to figure it out, how to solve, how to meet their expectations out of the training. And then the program starts at day 1, in a week or in 2. And it means that it will be a workshop on location. This pre-training should be online, I think, just to get them to feel free online in the environment, and then to have a workshop on location, welcome them, get to know them personally and so on, and then to give a short introduction of the course on entrepreneurship. Also on the pre-training, we will go with the general overview of all the courses, not only on entrepreneurship, but when we start here, the topic will be entrepreneurship, how we have thought this would look like, what have we planned to do with that, and then we will just shortly introduce them again, but just into the tools that we will be using in entrepreneurial part of the training. Just to say, if you haven't done some of these, you still have some time to go and see what Kahoot is, how you use it, and so on. And then to introduce also this asynchronous learning, for them to know that not only the 2 or 3 hours that they will have lectures, games, and so on, but they will have to do a lot on their own. Just to introduce them what that means, how much will they have time to solve some problems, to explore, to find out, and so on. And then we will try start with introducing the entrepreneurship. I think Maria's presentation from yesterday, the day before, is very good to start with, or maybe for somebody is too much, but you will see how your audience acts, and then you will develop it for your audience. And then to give you some, Antonio already sent us, we will put here some links on the 3D simulation games, virtual reality, so on, so they can explore a little bit. We will not give them 10. We will just see 1 or 2 which are the most interesting, to set the mindset of an entrepreneur, or just a video of some famous entrepreneurs who succeeded, who told their story, just to see how this works. And then we will have quizzes, self-evaluation during the process. As Maria said, there is this Entrecom that can be used just to set up the mind of an entrepreneur, and then we will do this to get to know with the entrepreneurship. This lunch and breaks, it stayed as it was, but we have to have lunch, not when we have 2 hours or 3 online, but we will have some short breaks in between. And then the second unit that we were discussing Monday is generating business ideas. We will lead them through the process on generating how to develop an idea, from the idea to starting a business or something like that. There are a lot of guidelines, books even, and so on. So we will try to find or a case study or a presentation with a small introduction, and then a real life situations. We will do the interview. We will have this also asynchronous. First, when they are there for 2 or 3 hours or 5, then we will give them a homework to interview some of the entrepreneurs they know from the area, or somebody they know online, to meet and to ask some questions about. And then we will work with them on the questions as a group, as trainers, or as later target group to see what they think is the most important to ask an entrepreneur, and then we will have a questionnaire. They will do an interview just to see how this works. And then after that, we will have this is the following subject: crowdsourcing and design thinking and pitching, and they will have to learn all these skills, how to present their business idea, and then we will do a hackathon just to taste what does this mean. Like, it doesn't have to be big. They can invite maybe some of their friends, neighbors, co-workers, just to have an idea what a hackathon is, and then to let them to pitch their idea in 2 minutes, and then we will vote, and then maybe we'll have some reward or something like that. Not the cash one, but we will find some bravery.
Cheese.
Yeah, maybe cheese. Or flowers. We will pick them up after.
The tulips.
Yeah.
From the-
So this is like the process. Just, it doesn't have to be in one day, because we were so stuck in these 2 days. Maybe it can be one day this and the other one this. You will see it depends on the audience how much they want to know and so on. So this is just a topic that we found interesting and important for them. So then presentation, always a teamwork, cooperation, and so on. Whether online, whether in classroom, they have to exchange. They have to have a feedback from colleagues. They have to learn. This is also the introduction into teamwork, which will be the subject. And then day 2. Day 2 is a summary from the agenda. So we would the subject will be business canvas, also a short introduction, what is it, why it is used, to say what is the difference between a personal canvas and business one, because many of the people who are the target group maybe will never start a SME or a company, but it is good for them to know how to make a personal canvas. It's almost the same thing, but you use it from your own perspective, and in business you use it from the perspective of the future company or future SME. So this is something that when we can also do a hackathon, or we can do some games, we can vote and something like that for the ideas. And then also the presentations, either this day, or we just leave them few days to evolve, to develop it, and then on the next time, on the next meeting, just to discuss and present the ideas and to get the feedback from the participants, from the trainers, and so on. And then the bridging the future. This is the one where you have the two options from the beginning, and then starting in business, or you are already a startup and then you are building a business. It has steps, and you just click on these steps and see what is going on, what you should take care of when you think about the business, what is your marketing strategy, who is your target group, what are the needs, and so on. You will see it's very interesting. This is also something that we will give them some time to do on their own when they are after the course, and then this feedback and evaluation on the second day. So it will be like, it can be done for this course only, but it's not, it's actually for the whole training, because they will evaluate all 4 topics. If we do all 4, maybe just 1, but it's important to have a feedback to see if their expectations were met, what can we do better, and also to write a report from trainers. It's not important only one perspective, the other is also important, but because when you go through this one time, you will know how to do better, and that's good to share with others, not to do the same mistakes, not to have too long presentations, or to have much more about the subject, or we will see how this works. So this means monoform. This is just an error in writing a survey or a questionnaire or whatever you find yourself most feasible. So this is, it can be 2 days, and also it really has so many topics, it can be 5 days. For just question and answers, also Q&A are at each of the sessions. So that's it.
There's objectives here.
Yeah, those are the objectives. They are the same as for ToT.
Yeah.
We just adjusted them a little bit.
Pretty cool. So it's kind of agenda you can work.
Stretch,
down
yes,
like a-
just like Olga said, she wrote 5 days, and you
Yeah.
can put it in 2.
with the Monica.
We also discussed about how can somebody who is not teaching entrepreneurship know what is important and just put it out, or in BCM. I think you should have at least something of each of the subjects.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good at communication. I will do whatever you write.
But you're using communication to do whatever.
Yeah, but to teach somebody, I'm not sure that I can do that.
But before, can we agree that we put these presentations
that's
on
me.
Moodle
Okay,
in 4 categories, so we can go into
We
entrepreneurship?
can, we must brush it a little bit. to make
Yes,
it
yes,
nicer. Give us a template from the project, so we
Okay.
can do them nicer. You have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a suggestion that Rachel made the template. This is a good suggestion. We
Should you
should,
send me your
we should follow.
presentation and?
So when can you send it?
Did you make a presentation or you did you do the template for the presentation? Maria, use it on the project, the logo of the project.
Yeah.
You did it your own. Okay, we should copy that.
okay, that will be the template.
Can you make it a little bigger?
Yes.
Yeah, so, a comment. First of all, I'm very happy that you used an example of the agenda. I stressed on you for the very first day. Put an agenda in order to know when we be at home what to do. It's exactly like that. Thank you, Ivan. You followed a very specific example of the agenda with everything inside. I totally agree with you. Second, the second comment. I'm talking as the one representing my team, communication team, and the one representing the project, whole project. Simply, you didn't answer up now to the request. 2 days presentation for each building. For each, it means that we don't listen each other. This gentleman came here, sorry, with this. Sorry, Stefan. You came, you said 2 days for each of us in each room. That was exactly for us, for instance. It means that when we have a task, we have to fulfill the task. And now this presentation, it's just,
But the 2 presentations made 2 days, but like an accordion.
Yes.
okay, no, I understand, totally
So
understand,
it's more.
but please me,
It's not a guitar,
as a
it's
trainee.
an accordion.
No, please, I'm very serious. As a trainee, I looked carefully because I tried to answer the task. I am the trainee now. I answered the task. It was super information there, really very large expressed. And it will be, the problem, it will be related to the next steps. Please, the trainer has to take care of. This process should be a learning by doing in order to make the difference between training and lecturing. Learning by doing. You have to put your trainees working together. That's why team building, that's why communication, that's why project team working. So learning by doing process first. Second, you should take care about the composition of the trainees group. Who are the trainees? Because in case the trainees from public administration, NGOs, business, have capacity to understand what you say, it's okay. If not, it will be difficulty. At the same time, how to combine face-to-face with online? Because if it's more than, more, let's say, expressed by own learning, you can lose your friends, you cannot control, simply the best. You have representatives from public administration. Usually they are in the office, they have their own tasks. I know from experience, I'm talking about experience now. They will not be with you, even you offer tasks. Next day, because you have almost 2 days per each topic, it was agreed like that, I understand. If they will not answer to you, where, let's say, the outputs of this training will come. So take care with the composition of face-to-face learning online and so on, teaching, training online. How to identify the appropriate techniques, trainees. So how to identify them? They come from public administration, business. You need to know how to, you have to keep in hand.
It's self-assessment will help me.
What?
They will do a self-assessment weeks before the
No,
training. They
no.
will say what
How
are
you
the
select,
expectations.
please, Ivana, please. No, we are not discussing about expectation. Who are the people involved in? It will be a combination between business company, public, it's a strong
They
question.
will self-assess their knowledge.
No, you don't understand how you select the target group. Because when you have people from municipality, from county council, or people from business there, people from NGOs here, you'll find out that the expectations are totally different. Their approach is totally different. Somebody from the public administration working with EU funds will come here and say, but I'm the best in project management because I'm writing projects and I get money, I implement projects. The others in NGOs probably in the beginning, they will say, but I need to know because I never written or applied or implemented the project. That's why the composition of the trainees group is very important. I only put some question marks in front of you. I try to be as constructive as possible. Flexibility on the agenda. You've seen here. Henrike said, you have to be 15 minutes past. I didn't because what happened? An unexpected technical stupidity moment happened. I lost power, I lost everything. And I have had to come back and rewrite. So you have to be flexible in terms of the agenda. These are some question marks you have to take care. I'm now going to very specific 2 days. Built in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Usually, as you have done, Ivan, welcome, icebreaker, different kind of tools. Of course, you already introduce a kind of table like that. Put the table up.
Yes.
Okay, a table like that. In order to be specific, the agenda has to be a specific one. Smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timetable. At least this is a suggestion. You don't have to follow this example, not at all. It's just a suggestion. As a result, we agreed in the group to be like that. Okay, go down, please. Yes. Based on this 5W presentation, in fact, you measure as much as possible what kind of trainees you have in front. What about with each of them? Because probably a few of them you didn't meet them before. That's why you have to find out, and in this way to take the temperature of the trainees, to find out what they would like, what expectations they should have, where they are coming from, what's their experience, and so on. Next, you have to introduce the agenda. What's the purpose of this agenda? Not the agenda, the 2 days experiment, 6 days experiment. The purpose is to give capacity to them to communicate better, to be able to work in a team building, by team working. Say
You in your group, you work with communication. Now you are explaining about the total.
no,
Also,
I'm explaining about effective communication trainees capacity.
Yeah, but you said over 5 days.
Not 5 days, 2 days, only 2 days.
Yeah, and it's only about communication.
Only about communication, expressed from the beginning, because in my mind, it was like that. You will come with entrepreneurship 2 days. You will come with with project management 2 days. We will come with communication 2 days. And later on, to put this content into a common 6 days or 8 days agenda. That was in my mind as a task. Now, Stefan,
Yeah, it's decided, but okay, you get more.
More or less.
More or less.
Because we have
That's
pre-training as well, so
flexibility.
it's better to have more materials and more.
totally
everything.
agree, totally agree. I just want to say that we try to respond to the very specific task, to be precise. That's the answer. Okay, next. Communication are the tool. Somebody from public administration will say, I'm working with the International Department of Municipality. Again, I'm talking about experience. So I don't need communication. How should you convince me that I should stay with you 2 days? I don't need project management. How I should be convinced? So that's why explain why and what to do in order to become a better communicator person, a better communicator, right? That's the term. Okay. In fact, what you build capacity on DCM, on communication, on entrepreneurship, build capacity for the trainees. Rules, remember our discussion again, principles, rules, types, methods, tools on communication. It depends, it has to you as a trainer to identify from the assessment, short assessment of needs and expectations, to identify what they want from you in 2 days, in 8 days, what they expect. And you should adapt the agenda. If you consider that somehow they are enough good, but in communication, but they don't know principles, for instance, in business, you mentioned, you have to be like that, your vocabulary, you don't have to act like me. Hey, Hussein, no, you have to keep the rules, to keep the way you act with your clients, with your partners, with your superiors and so on. Debates, very important, by debates, to find out how the process is going on, just by debates. If you realize that they are upset with you, they are bored, your speech is boring, your materials are boring, you have to come with something to change, to come with what's of interest for them. Presentation is very important. In communication, it's so important to find out that somebody has communication skills. Not like that. I'm the one. I can tell you what to do. Just to be in a partnership with the others. The question and answers, of course, and to prepare the second day. What means that you can offer some tasks for the second day. For instance, based on what we discussed today, for tomorrow, please come tomorrow morning with some video already productive by you. Already you have them in order to be relevant for communication skills. Okay, second day. And probably, stop, please. Thank you, Hussein. Probably not more than 5 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. It depends on the quality of the trainees. If they are coming from public administration or business, you'll never get them for 6 hours.
There are some people from public administration sitting here, so take care how you speak of them.
Okay,
So maybe.
this is a kind of answer, but
Drinking coffee for 4 hours.
Okay.
But when you are at home, you'll be seen different. Here you are abroad. When you are at home with yours in your own language, and if you find somebody like me very strong in what he believes, even he's wrong, he can destroy your, let's say,
Wherever you are, we call
production.
that a discrimination.
Okay, if you say like that for joke, but these are the aspects, really aspects you'll face that. Really aspects. When we are in a foreign environment, you are more polite. When you are at home with us, it doesn't function. Please believe me, training session. So from communication problems, we identify problems just to define objectives of communication. Somebody from business would ask you, why should I learn from you? Should I be taught by you how to communicate? I'm a super communicator. In this respect, when he's in team working, you can discover that in fact, he doesn't communicate properly. He's not able, communication meaning listening and answering to the questions. how to work towards communication objectives, achievement, efficient listening among partners, and efficient answering to the right questions. Team groups presentation, blah, 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 debates, conclusions. This should be a kind of, an example of how to do. It's up to you what the time allocated per each session, what kind of materials you'll use. Nobody will tell you to use this and that and that. We have what it's a must, what we have to do to use the platform. The platform of the Moodle platform we used here. And to use also the materials in the Dropbox, because there will be a lot, I believe. They should be.
But we don't have access to the Dropbox anymore.
Well,
Why?
why not?
You said that there is no Dropbox because I asked that question in one of the meetings. And you
But
said
it
that
has
we
to
are
be.
using all of that is in the web page, not the Dropbox and stuff.
But we have still the Dropbox.
I tried to access it and I couldn't, and when I asked why I couldn't, somebody
So
said there
it
is
should
no
be.
Dropbox anymore.
Hussein,
Yes,
don't we have the Dropbox?
Dropbox to Red Digital.
Show it.
I need to remember which one it was.
And also by webmail, we have the materials
This one.
active and accessible by each of us. We should have. We should have.
You
Yeah,
don't allow
digital.
for access to this.
Down, the
That's
next-
one.
Yeah, but that's the one I made here yesterday, because I give it to, this was for this meeting, for this ToT right now.
Okay, but it should be there, otherwise it's on the website login.
It has to be in the web. Yeah.
These login, let's, I know we missed one, but just to show,
Yes,
because
I'm just gonna close this down then,
Okay.
and then we go,
So that's it on behalf of all.
yes, I will
If any questions or
share.
suggestions,
Go here, let's say we share.
but while Hussein, Stefan suggested that we had an online meeting in 10 days. So questions and elaborating.
could come there,
Yeah.
could come there. Perfect. Yeah, it should be the
So we
best one.
continue
As a
working
follow-up.
on the materials.
Yeah.
Yes, as follow-up of
group.
this,
Yeah,
as follow-up. And for sure, the quality of material will be a
We
unitary
will change a
one.
lot.
really
and
is. Yes.
we will get the template.
Yes, I'm sharing it now.
So,
You can see the website, right, Florentia? Florentia,
I think you are.
Correct.
You cannot listen to us anymore.
She is not from
Too much.
public administration, she should be.
yes.
Marco,
Yes, we are, I'm already logged in to the site.
so for these,
File sharing. Wait, as you're logged in on the site,
Okay.
yeah,
then we get here file sharing.
Okay.
and then if you look, you can't see from here, but each file has sub-files. And if you take the ToT, you will see
It's a
the-
folder, it's
the
like a
four
folder.
folders of the themes, so we put in there
Mhm.
what is, and then all the administrative things about
Okay.
list of
So we
participants.
can directly there.
Yeah. One more comment on that page. This is not, let's say, this project. It was not expected, at least from us, that will give you exactly you have to do like that, like that, like that. It's the project of all of us. That's why this agenda, these units, how you want to call them as content, they should be in fact built by you. And the substance should be in a common, let's say, call it frame, template, matrix, how you want, in order to work unitary, but The production is our production, the transnational production. In this respect, we have to use. In this respect, we have to use as much as possible digital tools to react digitally, and at the same time to be an European project, a new project. European project. That's correct, because we have non-EU members. That was the last one. So questions, please, if there are any. And it's good, you 10 days. Perfect. Perfect.
So the last one, Hussein,
Yes.
which is the last.
That's
The online.
the backend.
That's the online team.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go and stop share.
Thank you, sir.
And then I'm gonna go in here and say, all participants, yes. Florencia, are you ready to present yours now?
I thought I thought I was doing communication. So I thought that's what we said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Florencia,
right.
it was discussed in the first day that you online will be part of the team build. That was the idea, and at least here we understood not to upset you, please, but it was our, let's say, understanding here that you online will be together in that team building.
But she asked,
Team.
like, and
Yeah, and she asked. And
yeah, the team leader just made it for communication, and because she asked what she was going to do.
It's fine. So
But
we
it's
have
good
two
for communication,
proposals.
please. Yeah.
On communication.
If there is a material, just promote it, please. We want to look at it. What's your opinion?
Course number one.
What you presented is, it covered pretty much everything. What I'm thinking right now is that because I thought that I was, of course, I'm on my own. There's no one else online. I'm not sure if anyone worked on team building though.
No,
No.
because it was an online team.
What's the same building?
By myself. Yes, but I really did think that I was supposed to do something on communication. But yeah, sorry about that.
Please be welcome with your work, and for sure it will be useful for all of us.
But it doesn't matter. You do
Just show us what you
yeah,
have.
show what you have.
Please share.
Okay, and it's not really in the structure of an agenda. It's just agenda. It's just topics and tools and some other comments that I found today that could be useful for the communication part of things. Okay, so. So yes, this is pretty much it. I just approached communication from 3 different perspectives. Each one could be covered in a different day, or the communication part of the training could be one day entirely, depending on what everyone would like to do. So I went back to the survey, and communication was part of the training delivery. So, and generally, usually in training and teaching, I usually go with discussion and with some sort of presentation, discussion and activities. So when it comes to presentation or discussion, it could be something about communication styles and skills, which was part of the survey, and the presentation public speaking skills, such as elements, challenges, and tips, which is more psychological, I guess. Then I tried to remember what you talked about on Monday about communication, which again could be addressed at a different day of the training, which is written versus spoken communication, persuasion when it comes in a variety of aspects in life, or particularly in project management. I think that's what you mentioned. And then when it comes to an educational settings, again, about adequate feedback and the comparing and contrasting online, blended, and face-to-face. When it comes to tools for the training, videos could be used, quizzes from the platform, discussion forums that could be used either synchronously or asynchronously, blended learning group activities, blended brainstorming activities, and questions for reflection and group discussions. I could create a template agenda based on this and send it to you on Monday, but I'm not sure if it's worth it because an agenda has already been created. And something else that a colleague shared today, and I think it would be useful for communication, is that a ballet will have a webinar on April 7th, in 2 weeks from now, about effective communication strategies to promote learning activities and projects. And I think it could be useful for the React Digital training based on what they will present there. Maybe we could take something from that as well. And I could send you the link if you are interested to participate in the webinar.
Yes. Yes.
Is that?
Yes, that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did anybody do project management?
What do you
First
mean?
one was project management.
First one was project management.
Yeah, it was project management.
What was it?
Gorda.
Team building.
Team building, that's
Yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah, no,
They were
no,
doing that
no,
on
no,
Monday
no.
and it was on
So
Friday.
it's- Okay. So can we go and show the videos
No, yes.
on the Ready Digital has a
Yes.
channel?
Let's.
You explain.
Oh, wait, I have to switch the, there. It's- I think it's, I don't know. There.
You say you became a real Zoom specialist.
Yes.
We even have videos in between.
Yeah, that's it.
Kan du vise den første? There is a lot of instruction videos, and we can see some have been visited. But it's
I have visited this one, that's the one you linked to me.
yeah, but it's made by Croatia.
Yes.
So let's if you want to know how to work with Moodle, there are pretty good instructions. Can we see one of them?
Yes, let me just.
Can we see one with subtitles in
Yeah.
Danish? Can you finish with all subtitles?
Right,
That's
they're
great.
all
Oh,
really-
right.
And we also have creation.
Huh?
Lothar will kill us. We did not check this. Ivan was practicing and he published it.
I have the draft of Croatian subtitles.
Can this be changed?
Yes.
When we see that they are so.
Yes, yes.
Sorry.
Try to play
Yes,
English or Croatian text.
what with creation
Sound.
text? Oh,
We can do it both with the original and the English unit. But we decided to put subtitles. You can see you have also.
yes. And let me.
Now we skal have danske, så
Okay, should have Danish subtitles. Oh wait, never mind. I have to share. I have to share sound.
Yes.
Chose is React Digital, short name is React, and we provide a short text with information about the course. Then we need to provide reasons for starting this course. And finally, we click Request a course. When the course is created, we need to add its participants. There are two ways how to add participants or users. First, we click on the option button and select More. Then we click on Users and Enrolled Users, and in the new window on the right we click the button Enrolled Users. In the pop-up window, Enrollment Options, we select the names of the users who are in the system. We should assign the appropriate roles like teacher, non-editing teacher, student, helpdesk. Teachers have a full access to the course. They can add resources and activities. Also, they can change options and grade students. They have authority to assign the roles of students and non-editing teachers. Non-editing teachers can view students' assignments, grade students, and participate in activities such as forums. They cannot add activities or resources. Students can participate in all activities. They can submit assignments, quizzes, participate in discussions, etc. They can also view their assignments and other submitted work. After defining the roles, we click on Enroll Users. If we want to change user's role, we put cursor next to user's role and click on the icon of a pen that shows up. We can now write or select a new role for this user. We can delete the previous role by clicking on the X next to it. And then we go back to the course. Another way of adding users is by clicking Users on the left sidebar. In a new window, we click on the button Enroll Users on the right, and in the following procedure is the same as already described. We can also remove users by clicking on an X on the right and then unenroll. So this was a tutorial on the procedure of opening or starting a new course. Thank you for watching and check out our other tutorials.
Very lovely voice. Yes.
He chose the music.
It's something music.
But how many
We
people?
have 17.
I think that it's
But
15 are online.
15
and one
are
have
online.
How many?
error in it.
17,
That we didn't.
17 are prepared, the 15 are online, so all 15 you can first watch the video about subtitles if you're not sure how to do it on YouTube video. It should be self-explanatory, and then just you have transcripts in as a Word document, so you first do the translation of the transcript and then just watch the video how to put subtitles just to have the timing right. Yeah.
Okay, but if you find that this background music is a bit louder than her voice, you can also tell us back so we can change it, you know. This can be changed.
What was it?
But I'm not so sure now, I'm not sure if this should be done before.
Yeah,
Maybe we should watch them first.
yeah, we don't.
But you all have transcripts, that's the start, you know, translate the transcripts first, they are in English, and then do the-
Try to listen it and see if there's something that's missing or.
But we already had subtitles for 15
Yes.
and one more, and we are missing one as far as I.
We need to edit one, there is a mistake
Yeah.
or something, yeah.
But I think it's solved. Yeah, so it's only the one meeting he said.
Okay.
Also, except the main courses, that will be, that the duration will be 5 days. We have one pre-training, yeah, for them. And in pre-training, we will upload educational content, methodology theories, pedagogical methodology theories for adult education. And as Ivana discussed before, the online tools for the tools and a tutorial for the.
Yes, tutorials are on the webpage
Yeah.
of the project, so we don't put them on Moodle, we can just put links there.
So
Yeah.
that would be the educational content
Of retraining.
from training
Yes.
for all of us.
Everybody,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, yeah. And after the main courses finished, we will have 1 day evaluation. Okay.
There should be some, we should have
At
some
the last day,
post
yeah.
training,
Right.
sort of like
Okay.
feedback and.
So that is the whole training pattern that each pattern has to implement it after 1 month, more or less.
Så probably are going to
We should talk about timing.
This one reacted, so yes, I'm on the platform right now.
Going to platform. Even
Do any of you have any materials on ToT?
from
Any partner?
E-learning.
Does Fernando have? Maybe
Yes.
not, I think.
Welcome to the
We
Moodle.
will
But
have
just to
10-15 days
some ideas that we
to
don't
think
have.
about this and to finalize the educational content. Okay, via online. Okay.
My fingers work. Yeah,
This is, what's this is?
Maybe we should ask the online team to have a meeting and then to do an agenda as we did.
there is a
There are 4 of them.
Or Moodle, it's called discussion, you know, so
Yeah.
you can open the
Okay.
topic and everyone can contribute.
For
So
April,
it's clear
for April.
who is.
April the 4th.
Clear who is
For
more.
one.
She's running.
Yeah.
the Moodle now, probably.
Course 1, and now I have to log in. Is that the same as the login for the web page?
I'm not sure. If you register for it, then it's what you put in.
But it was more to show that you who are not part of the project team, that you know that there are resources available and contribute. Because as Edith said, it's important that you all enter with ideas and so everybody has. So when Hugo is teaching, this is I want to. Yeah. So should we go to Fernando's question?
Yeah, yes, let's do that. And now we go and say new share. Oh wait, I actually should do it in.
First,
Let's say new share. And I go to the.
can go
Oh,
to
this screen 2, yes, that.
Skal jeg sige det?
Oh, wait, that's right.
Yes.
I now remember what it was I changed first. Jeg kom til at, da vi lukkede, havde jeg glemt, hvad det var, jeg
I'm sure that I would be using.
let me just,
Some,
sorry.
Is.
Hussein is a very good team partner. He's extraordinary.
So,
Very responsible.
The question
Yes.
is Fernando sent this question to all of us.
Yes. Have
Sometimes it's up and sometimes it's not.
You have to share it.
Okay.
I guess to share it.
You have to share it through Zoom, so for
Then
everybody
you
to
share.
see it. also.
Yes, I know.
So he asked those 2 questions and some of the answers and all questions Gabi already talked about.
All of them.
But it's more, we agreed that nationally we decide how many of each group will participate. And some of the questions down there, for instance, from Danish perspective, is not interesting because people will not sign up if they are not interested. I mean, they'll just say, why should we? So we can't force people. So some of your questions will already be answered. Because if people don't want, they don't sign up.
What?
If they don't want, if they're not
To be
interested,
involved?
they won't sign up.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the thing.
I have had many, it's not like in Denmark. I have had many situations in Predal, in the mountains and so on. They just came, they participated just by paper signed, but in reality, not at all interested. It was my task, you as a trainer, not me, you will be, just to motivate them, to keep them in the program and to make them to produce because it's a learning by doing. It's not lecturing.
So.
In this respect, my concern.
But I agree, but that's why we decided that it should be national to decide how and who should be participants. Because the way you introduce it is not a Danish reality. So probably in other countries, it's also different.
But you know, Romania, perfect, you know it.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. They are in the list of participants, and when you start training, you discover that they are nowhere. They'll say we have problems in the office, so they will not come.
But the problem is
But
that
it's the
Romania
same with
is
you.
not part of the problem.
No, hey, please,
Actually, it's
don't
not a
make
problem, it's a
jokes.
good thing.
Don't make jokes. It's the same in your country. How many times somebody from public administration sign, will participants, they come and in fact, they, second day, they will say, we have problems in the county or in the business company, they'll not come. No, it's not like that. You are in Denmark. It seems
I
that
would
it's
This is
in
a
Denmark.
kind of evaluation
I'm,
about work.
for example, in Bosnia and
Okay.
Herzegovina, I am the trainer
Again,
for
I don't want to
the
go in
Rectorate for
contradiction.
European
I'm
integration. They
trying
are
just to-
only public servants who come to my trainings.
Okay,
Only
and they are active,
Migration, IPA,
and they are active,
processes, and PCM.
and they are active, they are
They
active.
are
They will lose
100%
their jobs.
active. And in this other one,
Perfect.
the federation,
Perfect.
the Institute for Civil Servants,
Perfect.
they do it by themselves, nobody
My
forces
friend,
them
it was
to
just
go.
a question mark.
The
Take care
topic
of.
has to be interesting, they have to know a little bit about it, and they participate.
It was just a question mark.
It has to be interesting, not only the topic that has to be interesting.
The
but
way
if
you act.
Yes,
Yeah.
if your preparation is bad and your materials are bad, and you don't give them a chance to speak up and give their opinion, and you don't do the evaluation after the work is done, then they will find out that this is boring, and they will not come to
But that
work.
is general.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
With
That's
NGOs,
what-
they have some
Yeah.
more
That's why-
important job to do.
That's why it was
It's
a
not
question
easy-
mark.
Easy job to.
It was a
make
question
and-
mark.
No, but it's
Run workshop, it's really hard.
But that's why we decided, correctly used, that it's nationally, you decide who should be the participant and how.
It's exactly what it was said. It
Yeah.
will be locally decided, and in fact, it will be your biggest task to decide which way to work with them. That's just a question mark.
So the important
To
is
pay
that we
attention.
have the modules to offer.
And as much materials as possible to choose between some of the options, you know, the audience maybe not to be too much.
And to have at least 15 of them, because we need the
Yes,
number.
at least.
If finally you answer that the training sessions went really well in terms of productivity, it should be the best. That's the best. But it was just a question mark, letting you be concerned and
Yeah.
taking care of. That was all, not more.
So-
The same Fernando says here.
And the structure of trainings, it's also now
Yes.
clear. So if we go fast to the next page, because that's just from the application. So we hope everybody agrees. It's usually
Yes,
the
and
euro.
regarding the target
It can
group,
be changed.
then we answer that.
Yeah.
Because some of the trainers usually do with specific target groups, so we should have trainers for each of the next target group. Maybe few for NGO, few for public sector.
We shouldn't prescribe anything. It's important that we, but I believe that we will have this variety at the end, because we work with different target groups.
You see, it's written here, detailed schedule and lesson plan. What we have done before could be seen as a lesson plan, because as in detail described possibly, would be the best. That's why it's the deliverable. A1, A2, detailed schedule and lesson plans for training course.
But we have made the matrix and from each partner, you get the detail.
Yes, that is the point, that when we implement our own training of trainers, we have more detailed plan
Correct.
for each day than we just have the
Correct,
outline.
correct.
Yeah.
It means we have the answer. Perfect, perfect. Perfect.
Yes.
And this is what we have done.
You just have to document it.
Yes. And click.
Yes. And click again.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go fast. And this is what Gary has been talking about, the impact and transferability.
Impact should be capacity in knowledge and skills for the trainings. In a few words,
And it is a beautiful text you have made.
a super text.
Yeah. So this is what is to be reached by the application. And then Stefanos has prepared now to tell about online meeting in 10 days.
Yeah, in 10-15 days, how do we believe that in the 1st of April or 4th April, Monday, 4th April? Is it okay for you?
Somewhere around 2 o'clock. again.
April the 4th.
4 April, 2 o'clock. Set time.
4.
And that's where you will tell us about what
14, 2 o'clock.
14 o'clock.
online meeting.
Or 4 o'clock.
And what are you gonna tell us, Stefanos, on the meeting?
4th April. Yeah,
Yes, I know. Yes, I know.
and what should we have done till the 4th of April?
I don't know, somehow, maybe Hussein should all the material in a good drive, which file good drive. Maybe website, so we have 15 days in order to read it, to make some suggestions, recommendations, and to finalize the education content for April. Okay, have finalized education content.
But content, shall we do the content, for example, the team for PCM, shall they upload some of the PPTs that they
Each
have?
file, each file, we should have each file for each unit. Unit 1, 2, 3, 4.
But we will need
materials.
Moodle materials.
Our training does not have PowerPoint presentation. Our
Anything you
training
need,
is
anything you
only
have.
learning by doing.
Anything you have, anything you have.
Yeah.
Put anything you have in order to make some discussion and to finalize.
And Maria, don't forget your presentation.
It's already in the folder.
Okay.
If you use your,
You would have known.
it's easier.
Yes, I use it all the time.
Thank you, but you didn't see the
Right.
presentation.
It's top.
Okay, should I go
We
to the
are
next?
so fast.
Should I go to the next page?
Well, yeah, bare slut den der.
Here we have overview of the vision of work regarding coordination of particular
Activities. But it doesn't matter, it's more, if you go into the application, you will see the distribution of tasks. So det er fint nok. And we could say all these presentations will be sent to you. But take a photo. And.
Just a
all-
joke, do you have access to what this presentation?
Yes, because we have video recorded. So we put all the meetings, when you are bored at home, you can see the sessions again. And we will put it on, Hussein, we will
Yes.
put it on YouTube.
What are we going to put in YouTube?
The
The meeting recording.
meeting recordings.
Yeah.
But not
Public,
this meeting
public.
today, it's not this one.
Oh, especially this
We
one,
need to edit.
especially this one.
No video, no pass.
Video plus party with Lee.
So, as Pradana and Ivana wrote the project, you are entitled to finish the sessions now.
Okay, I just want to be clear that the online team is who's doing team building. So we had that unclear. So we need to have all 4 topics prepared.
Covered.
Yeah. Shall we bother Claire to do it, Stefano?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she gave the outline here and Florencia did the communication today, extra
And
communication.
just
So
again,
could we do it like that?
Gordana, please define what do we expect for the meeting, the online meeting? What kind of document or what do we expect
I'm not
in
talking
clear?
about online meeting, I'm wrapping this one.
No,
up.
I said because you have to close this session.
Yeah.
We don't listen
No,
sometimes.
But you should let me finish.
Just have in mind, that was just a suggestion. I didn't interrupt you that because of that.
First,
Because we
we are
don't know what
talking
we should
about
do.
unfinished businesses and then we are closing things. Okay, unfinished business was team building, so if Claire could do that, we would
The
appreciate it. Yes, as the Word document, and then we will change it into the nice.
I think they already.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
So would you like me to prepare an agenda for team building and send it to you by Monday?
You can
Yes.
collaborate, you
Right,
insist.
Okay.
right.
Yes, Florencia, yes, you can do this.
That was the request.
Okay.
So I mean, just please bear with me because you know, the communication is a bit it's too many voices and I can't hear everything. So I have some questions as well. I'm not sure if you want me to ask now or later on.
No.
Please ask, sure.
Okay, because there's the platform in the middle of everything as well. So you were talking about the educational content. And so from what I understand now, I'm in the group that will prepare something for team building.
Yes.
Yeah, the agenda should cover the agenda for training in specialized topics. Should cover the 4 topics: PCM, team building, communication, respectively entrepreneurship. For 3 of them, PCM, communication, entrepreneurship, a kind of agenda has been produced. Of course, everybody could come and empower, let's say, put details as possible to give a form to this agenda. But for team building, we do not have this unit in the agenda. So if you prepare this unit on team building, the final agenda for each of the trainers will be able as an example, as a format. No? Is that correct?
Okay.
But what about the actual content? When are we going to prepare that? And who is going to prepare what?
That was the question for you. For the next 10 days, what should be presented by us? What's the real task? Because it's not clear. Look.
Each group, Florencia, has to upload to the system in the Google Drive, in the website, where exactly all the educational contents.
You signed me out.
Okay, so we have 15
You have
days
been signed out because you are
April
purely signed in on
in
another
order to
device.
analyze, to
Just a
discuss more deeply to change opinion, and finally, at 4 April, we will finalize the educational content. Okay,
Okay.
that's the aim.
Some reason I'm still on.
And something last, okay, now it's clear, thanks. Do you think that the workshops will take place in April? Do you think we'll have enough time to do that?
I don't know, maybe we will discuss after 15 days. Also, the idea is to have 2 days per unit, working days for courses days. And after that, because the main courses is 5 days, not more. Okay, so each organization for each country depends on the local needs. Will decide and choose the 5 days than 8 that we will have in the system. Okay, in order to implement the courses. Also, moreover, we will have one pre-training and educational content will be the same for the whole partners. And also we have 1 day for evaluation. That is the whole picture, okay, that we decide here today. Is that clear?
You don't have sound.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
So everything is clear, okay?
Yeah.
What was the? Oh,
Okay.
Now, Florencia, can we all get editing teacher role on Moodle?
Well, I think you now have course creator access. I'm not sure if everyone should have the same.
Share it nationally, you know, for our own trainers. And national training is taking place online, so all national teams should have ability to prepare their own pre-training online, because we will use materials in Croatian.
Yeah.
And I believe you will not use English materials, but your own languages. And we have this model just for this purpose in the first place, right?
I just think it's two different. I mean, I think it's the course creator access and teacher access. I think it's two different things.
We do not have the role for creating. If you create a course for us, then we can have a role of teacher. We don't need to be creating another courses. But the participants here do need to have access to a course where they are teachers. As I suggested at the beginning, each of us, for each country should have its own course, one course, and the one course for all of us, where we can work. This course where all of us are working, we can split it in teams. So subject 1 can be communication, subject 2, etc. But this is course where all of us are teachers, have a role of teacher, as a teacher, so we can add and create stuff. On the other hand, each country or language should be a different course, where all of us from Croatia and Bosnia can have one, and Greece another, etc. That is what I suggest. Otherwise, I don't think that it will be usable in any way.
And where is the Europe dimension of this? If everybody nationally has
The one course where we are all together. One course where we are all together. You cannot expect that everyone in Croatia knows and can use materials in English.
No, I'm not talking about
Because
language.
they will
I'm
be
talking about-
participating in this course.
I'm not about
they're-
language. I'm not talking about language. I'm talking about the topics should be seen 5 days in Greece. They should be the same topics in the training, day by day sessions. They should be the same, of course, with different materials supported, supplied, but the topics should be the
That's the
same.
one course where we are all together working on all those topics together. But because at the end, the final participants will use this Moodle, and it has to be prepared for them to use it, if they see some Danish text and Portuguese text, what does it mean to them,
We mixed concepts. First of all, we
Okay,
need a
that was my
template.
suggestion. I'm sorry.
No, sorry, because we are here to discuss, to decide. It should be a template, an example. The agenda should look like that for communication, for topics. There are topics, and these topics should be filled by you in a national context, in your national language. But the frame, the skeleton has to be the same. If not,
About the online course,
Courses,
not
not-
the
but
agenda.
the
for
same
each
about
thing.
online, when you develop, it doesn't matter that you
You
develop.
probably didn't use Moodle, I'm sorry.
But look at you, Moodle is just the tool. You have to put substance in
No,
the
it's
You're
not
substance.
a
talking
tool,
about
it's
the
a
tool,
it's a system, it's a
You don't
learning
want- you don't-
system.
But you learn by information. It's a learning system by information. The information should be in a unitary way built.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay, okay, you see what will happen if not like that. Because everybody would like to come in something, and who's connecting the whole? Who's putting the whole?
Okay, let's work it like this.
Please,
We put
say.
everything on the webpage, all the materials that we have. Florencia will finish with the team building materials, put it on the webpage, find the folder for that. We do our best to think of our national training agenda. We meet on the 4th of April, and we will discuss you if we need help, support, and that's it, okay?
And also, moreover, for April, maybe we can decide one person per organization.
Then we will go
We
back to
discuss
this topic with Florencia,
With
okay?
Florencia and Google, Moodle.
Right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So I just hear the date of the meeting. I will have a transnational project at the 4th and 5th of April. So maybe before or after we could meet.
Before or after the 4th or 4th on the 2nd?
On the 4th and 5th of April, I will be at the transnational project meeting. So maybe at the end of March or at the end of the first week of April.
Not before April,
Not before April?
no?
I'm also in Israel.
What about 6th then? It's Wednesday. Wednesday, the 6th.
No, it's okay. It's okay for you, Florentina.
Maybe the 7th.
7th.
That's
You are difficult.
Thursday. Okay.
See what, that was the first day, they just said.
Then shoot the connect.
Okay.
We go for. 7th is okay?
No, I have the sorry, I'm not here.
When are you back?
I will be back on 4th, but on 7th and 8th, I also do the teaching for the ISO standard. I'm holding
The 3rd?
third Sunday.
Yeah,
First.
then everybody is free.
Okay, when it's Sunday, the 3rd.
Sunday? Not Sunday, but. One day per week, please. Don't kill me.
What about 1st of April, Fool's Day?
That's
Sounds
fine.
about right.
Alone?
First April is okay?
It's a bank holiday in Cyprus.
You're on holiday.
It's a bank holiday in Cyprus, first of all.
Oh,
So we're seven
So,
for the.
We haven't found a date yet because Cyprus has
Ah.
holiday on
So we're not there.
1st April.
Saturday, second of April,
For the meeting.
What?
2nd of February. Now you are.
So, yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, but you said February.
National.
April, April.
We'll discuss the dates.
So.
Two of April, two of April.
Second,
Second.
Saturday.
Lørdag.
Saturday.
Yeah, morning, it will, it's fine.
Better than Sunday.
Skal vi bytte en arbejdsdag til om lørdag?
Florencia, about second.
It's a holiday.
I wouldn't mind if we had a meeting for a couple of hours on the 1st of April. It's okay with me. I mean, if you want to do it on 1st of April, it's fine.
What?
1st of April is fine.
Yes, sure.
Give you
Let's do
some
it
hours.
first, that's Friday.
Yes,
First.
April 1st.
Fool's Day, you remember.
Please don't say happy April Fools, it doesn't come.
Well, it's
Du har også fået en e-mail med Carsten. Hvor selv til alle sammen. Skal du finde det?
Got some photos from
Fra mig?
Yes.
Det kommer via.
Yeah, I see.
Kan du gøre den op?
Yes, I'm just gonna do this instead. Then. Here you go. And then I can share. Should I share it or should I not?
Jeg har, ja, selv til alle. So to wrap up, and if there are more conclusions.
So we are not meeting tomorrow, sorry, or is
No.
this wrap up for everything?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And we will design, but also it's possible to contact Mr. Bolsonaro.
I believe I'll be not able in April 1st. That's it.
We see how we can.
We'll manage anyway. We'll manage.
But for tonight, and if there are any questions, we can also discuss it later. But
Yeah.
here is the address, you all have it on your email. You're invited to something called Salavala in the center of Copenhagen at 7 o'clock.
Who will be
On the next
there?
meeting.
Are we already dating? I didn't get the.
Axel don't fall, eh?
Yeah, you have it on email, all of you.
Maria,
You
we have been to
You are
Daleva.
invited.
We have been to Daleva. We have eaten there. We have eaten with the buffet.
Eating.
With the buffet.
Dinner.
That's it, Daleva. That's Daleva. In the mall.
Invitation to dinner tonight, 7 o'clock.
Yes, thank you.
No?
That's the,
You know the
this
place.
Copenhagen.
It's across
You know
from
the place.
Tivoli.
It's nearby us.
It's
nearby.
And afterwards, after the dinner, Gabi will invite you to
No, I don't know. For karaoke.
karaoke.
No, they will not come.
It's Irish pub, three floors.
3 floors. It is enough for us.
Yeah, but it's very crowded because it's St. Patrick's Days. So,
Yesterday.
yeah, but
They
they
celebrate
celebrate
Do
every
we
time.
need a cap or a flag or something?
They would love it. All of these people in Copenhagen will be there and a lot more. And they take every opportunity to win.
We have to see that.
And it's 2 minutes from the restaurant.
So
I stop. Yeah, DISIE also.
Yes. Florencia, we're finishing off the meeting now. So, yes, see you.
And probably we will.
On the first April.
Probably we will try to contact you before, but we also have to decide on the meeting in Cyprus when it should be.
Yes.
So could you write us some suggestions for May?
June, I think.
June?
It was discussed,
You are the host.
it was discussed second. After,
Would you like,
it was June after 10th, somewhere in the second.
Yeah, but can you confirm June the 2nd?
No, second part. After,
I remember, I think
Yeah.
Gabriel said that after the 10th of June, he's available.
Yeah, please remember that we discussed that it will be after 10th of April,
Yes.
10th of April. So it's up to you to decide which date.
It wasn't in May.
No, June. It's June.
Just had
June.
because of some conference.
It's June. It's June.
I think I will send you all a doodle so you can with a few options after from middle of June onwards
Yes,
to complete your availability, and we can take it from there.
June. Good.
Yes.
Good.
Good.
Second half.
Thank you.
Second.
Have a nice evening, and if you are.
Thank you, and thanks for accommodating the online
Yeah, but if
participation.
you come to Copenhagen tonight, you are invited to.
Yes.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
She has to talk.